Hello and welcome to the Launch Your Second Act podcast. I'm your host, Angela Vassallo, and I'm so glad you are here. I'm a businesswoman, author, entrepreneur, speaker, stepmom, and mum. I know that's a lot of hats, and I know that you wear them too. I help ambitious women just like you dream big, spark ideas, create more clarity, and kick those big ideas into action. This podcast was designed for ambitious women who are at the unique junction in their lives. I call it the second act. Women who are conquering life's transitions and are becoming the main character in their second act. It's time to rediscover what you want and how to get it. Upgrade and master your inner game and raise your standards. Hear from amazing women who have overcome, transformed, and are reclaiming their desires. Embrace this time in our lives. This is not a time to slow down, it's a call to action to discover what you really want. I hope this podcast inspires you to amplify your belief that you are capable of achieving the epic life that you dare to envision. Let's get started. Hello and welcome. This is my first episode, and I'm so excited to have you here. I really hope you enjoy everything that I'm going to be bringing to this podcast. I'll be interviewing so many incredible people. We're going to have such a great time, and I'm just going to share a lot of my wisdom and everything that I've learned over the years in business and in life for female entrepreneurs. If you're out there and you're actually just starting a business, or maybe you're somebody that's wanting to pivot in your career. You may have even been in the corporate world and, if you're in your 40s and maybe in your 50s and you're thinking, I'm looking for something different. I want to change. I want to have a better life. I want to focus a bit more on myself, maybe my wellness. Maybe I want to write a book or maybe start a podcast. Or maybe you've got an idea of a small business or a business venture that you want to go into. This podcast is for you. We are going to be tapping into so many different areas, but I know you're going to love it and we can all learn and grow together. But the first episode today, what I want to talk on is I've just created 5 tips and strategies for female entrepreneurs. And when I say female entrepreneurs, I'm talking about females, women, anyone that is interested in anything to do with business. And look, most people are these days. They're looking for options. They're looking for something different. They're looking something to help them get ahead. And today I want to talk about the 5 tips that I created and years of business and that I've been involved in. I've been involved in hospitality for the last 6 years. I started a business called Vasco's Chargrill Chicken, and that's been running incredibly well. I constructed 2 restaurants myself from the ground up. And we created this incredible brand, and we were number 1 in the country for best takeaway in the Australian Awards in 2021. We also each year are the top 10 chicken restaurants in Sydney, which is pretty amazing for a business that just started out 6 years ago, because we're up against all the big guns, the ones that have been around for 20 and 30 years in the chicken industry. We really didn't know anything about what we were doing. However, we did understand business and we did understand how to build a brand. And so that's a lot of the strategies and the information that I talk on is to be able to help you think you don't always have to know everything before if you want to step into something and be an entrepreneur or start something different or a new career. Don't think that you have to have all your ducks lined up, and don't think that you have to know everything, because part of being an entrepreneur is asking for help and advice. And that's one thing that I was very good at. And I always knew that everything was figure-outable. You can figure anything out. If you don't have the answers, the majority of the times you won't when you first start out in business, you can always ask somebody else and ask them for help and advice, because people that are always ahead of you, one of my mentors once said to me, people that are ahead of you are always happy to turn around and give you a hand up or even possibly give you help and advice, rather than people behind you, because the people behind you are usually judging you or telling you why you can't do that. So my advice as an entrepreneur is to always think for yourself, get the help and advice for people that have already gone before you or have the life that you're wanting to live. And the one thing I also want to talk about today is about living an intentional life. So when I created these 5 tips for female entrepreneurs, It was all about living intentionally. Every decision that you make, because I don't believe that you can succeed in life unless you are intentional about your decisions, because your intention will determine your life. And I mean, determine every area of your life. The way you look, the way you feel, the way you dress, your health and wellness, your success, your financial situation. It all comes down to intentional steps that you have taken along the way. And it's never too late to turn anything around or start something new. So, part of the 5 tips, the first one I want to talk on is everything to do with a vision. So, being intentional about having a vision. And having a vision is all about setting goals, focusing on what you want, and then starting to move in the direction of that vision. So if you're wanting something, you're here, but you're wanting something over here, and right now this is your starting point, and you need to get from point A to point B. You got to figure out, how am I going to get there? What am I going to do? So you nut it down into a vision, and you nut it down into some goals. And the goals, they need to be crystal clear on how you want to achieve that and how you want to get there. And in this course, the 5 tips for female entrepreneurs, it's a free download. In that, I explain how you can create a vision for yourself. And they say, without vision, people perish. And it's so important, because unless you have a strategic plan, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So it's extremely important to have a vision and a goal of where you want to go. The second tip that I give out is being intentional about prioritizing self-care, because self-care is unbelievably important. And the reason why I say that is because if you go out into this entrepreneurial world, a lot of women especially can become burnt out. And it has become a bit of a lot of people are burning out. It's something that most people have experienced. I personally have experienced it many, many times. And that is because we tend to push ourselves. We tend to say yes to everything. We fly at it. We really, everything that we've got, blood, sweat, and tears into getting this business up and running, or getting our idea out there. And that can lead to burnout. And not only just in business, I've actually done it working for other people, because I'm somebody that is an A-type personality where I've given it absolutely everything. I started out as an athlete as a teenager, and I burnt myself out there. I started out then after that becoming a PA to a celebrity, which again, I did everything I could to sort of do a really good job. I burnt myself out there. I've been in my own businesses for like 20 something years, and I've switched different careers, and I've tried different things, and I've had my own businesses, and I've been burnt out in those situations too. And it's not a place where you want to be. And Ariana Huffington talks about, don't wear burnout as a badge of honor. And a lot of women can do that. They've just burned the candle at both ends, and they're thinking that I've been up to 10 p.m., 11 p.m. doing all this work, and they're exhausted. But don't wear burnout as a badge of honor. There's so many ways that you can build a lifestyle and a business with balance. And I talk a lot about that in my 5 tips for female entrepreneurs as well, because there are so many steps that you need to take, which is, about looking after yourself, taking good vitamins, getting onto a good naturopath, looking after your hormones, especially in your 40s and your 50s, getting good sleep. It's incredibly important. If you don't know a lot about, you can Google it. Anything about sleep is so important and vital to be able to be, alert and be at your best every day. And the next tip that I talk about, which was step 3 in my female entrepreneurs, is about embracing continual learning. Now, this is very important as well, and that's something that I have always done. I have always put myself out there. I have always, if there's something that's come up, it's a course, or it's something I want to learn, or I want to follow, I want follow these entrepreneurs and these keynote speakers. I have mentors and coaches. Continuous learning is absolutely vital in business, because you don't know everything. And you need to put yourself in the rooms where people are teaching you everything that you need to know to be able to get from A to B. So, and then not only that, the doors will open up for you because you'll meet this person and then you talk to this person and then they'll introduce you to that person and then so much will happen for you. But it's so important to keep learning because if you're not learning, if you're not ripe and growing, then you're dying. So it's important to always be growing, always educating yourself, always, podcasts. You don't even have to spend a lot of money in courses and that type of thing. You can get free content uh, on podcasts and YouTube. There's so much out there that you can have access to. We are so lucky these days how, you know, great it is that we can just get information at the tip of our fingers. And obviously reading. I've got so many books behind me. I've read so many books on business, entrepreneurs, on how people got started. I love the success stories, especially the success stories of an underdog and how they've risen to the top and what they've overcome to succeed. Listening to those stories is incredible for you to be able to, give you some sort of inspiration and an idea of what's possible and what's possible for someone else. If they've already done it before, then you can do it as well. The other tip I talk about is building a support team around you. Having good mentors and coaches. I've spoken a lot about this because, I'm a 100% believer that you can't achieve anything. You will not succeed in any area of your life without a mentor or a coach. You think about the top people in any area, sport, whatever it is, they have mentors and coaches. And it's vital to have those type of people that guide you, that push you, that inspire you, that have gone before you, that can help you and, being part of a community. So, if you are a female entrepreneur, there is so many incredible Facebook groups that you can join. I myself am part of a group called Her Empire Builder. So it's all about females building their empires, which I absolutely love. One of my, great mentors has been Dale Beaumont. I've known Dale and his wife, Catherine, for over 20 years. They started Business Blueprint and they help small businesses go from basically here to here. And you just stay ahead of the game. So being part of these communities and part of these groups will only enhance you to be able to, move forward faster. I don't know about you, but I'm somebody that likes to fast track things. If I'm going to get something done, I just want to make it fast, and get it done and figure it out quickly rather than it all being just so tedious and struggle because being an entrepreneur can be quite a lonely road that you go down. Usually it's the road less traveled. But if you can surround yourself with the right people and the right community, that is going to make such a big difference to your life. And having like running buddies as well that you can check in with each week and you can set goals. Have you achieved this? Have you achieved that? That's honestly been a massive secret to my success. So I really encourage people to find out about a community that you can get involved in. Make sure you're looking for mentors and coaches for advice every step of the way. And setting your goals. I spoke about vision. I spoke about having this vision of where you want to go. But when you set a goal and you put a date on it, think about it in 90-day action plans. So my mentor has always taught me that when you set these goals, especially when you come into something that's new and you're wanting to start a business, and business is tough. Starting out in small business, especially in this country, it's very difficult to make a profit in business in this country. And if you think to yourself, oh my gosh, I've got to do all of these things. And it can be unbelievably overwhelming when you first start out in business. I know when I first started in the restaurants, it was such a male dominated industry and I was really struggling. And I was trying to figure everything out myself. And I didn't know. Really didn't know a lot. It was like a surprise to me that all these things were happening. And, one of the things I really, really knuckled down on was just these 90-day action plans and focusing on 5 things, not 100, 5 things. And in that 90 days, I was going to get the 5 things that were the priority for that 90 days. And that made it so much easier for me because I had it there. Every day I would look at that. Okay, I'm working on this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be getting your website done. It might be setting up your podcast. It might be getting, maybe even just doing some exercise 4 days a week. It might be putting some positive, input into your head every day and reading your goals. It might be getting 10 new clients. Whatever that might be, just narrow it down to 5 things. And that has definitely helped me focus on progress over perfection. Because one thing a lot of people will do is hold themselves back from even starting because they'll want everything perfect. I myself have done that in the past. I've held myself back thinking I have to have it has to be perfect. I have to have all the ducks in a row. The timing has to be perfect, but it just doesn't. If you just start to take a step forward and then another step, it's amazing how many things will open for you. But if you don't get started, you'll never get anywhere. You'll never achieve what you want to achieve. And then another year will go by and you'll go, oh God, I'm going into another year. Here we are in January. And what did I achieve last year? Did I get the outcome that I wanted last year? And if you didn't, and you're going to say that 2024 is your year, I recommend that you start to take action now. And if you're not sure what action to take, I've created this 5 tips for female entrepreneurs, and that will be a good foundation and starting point for you. I'm here to help as many women as I can achieve great things. In this year, I say 2024, if you want more, this is your year. And you have so much information at your fingertips. And I am here to help as many women as I can in business and in life. And, getting like I said, yourself around the right people is going to make an incredible impact in your life. So that's my podcast for today. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed it. I really loved sharing that content with you, my tips and strategies. And I have so much more, that I've learned over the years that I want to share with you. And I'm going to have incredible speakers on this podcast as well that I'm going to be interviewing. And some of my mentors are going to be coming on here as well. And I can't wait to hear from them. And I know that you'll get so much out of it as well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next podcast. But if you do love what you've heard today and you think that one of your friends or someone might benefit from this, I'd love you to share it and, pass it on to the next female entrepreneur. And so they can get all this information too. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now. Thank you for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. Like I've always said, there are so many podcasts out there that you can listen to. And the fact that you're here listening to this one, I am so grateful. So thank you so much. This podcast is all about taking center stage of your life in your second act. And your second act isn't a time to slow down. It's a call to action. It's your life and it's your rules. Thank you again. I really, really appreciate you. And if you think that anybody would benefit from this, please share and even tag me in at Angela Vassallo and subscribe. I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Bye for now.